That multivitamin you swallow every single morning. Independent lab tests found that up to 44% of the most popular brands in America contained either far less or dangerously more of what the label actually claims. One of America's biggest supplement companies paid a $2.25 million settlement to the Department of Justice for selling products with hidden, potentially illegal ingredients. And the most shocking part, most of these brands are sitting on shelves right now, at Walmart, at CVS, at Costco, while millions of Americans keep taking them every single day, completely unaware. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will never look at that little bottle the same way again. Let's start from the beginning. Before we get into specific brands, I need to give you a piece of context that most people genuinely don't know, and that changes everything about how you should think about supplements. Prescription drugs go through a rigorous FDA approval process before they ever reach a pharmacy shelf. Clinical trials, safety reviews, manufacturing audits, years of documentation. The bar is high. It's not perfect, but it's real. Dietary supplements? Completely different story. Under the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act, passed back in 1994, supplement manufacturers do not need to prove their products are safe or effective before selling them. They don't need FDA approval before putting a product on the market. The FDA can only step in after a product is already being sold if problems are reported. What this means in practice is that a company can design a multivitamin, slap a label on it, make certain legally vague claims like supports immune health or promotes energy, and start selling it to millions of Americans, all without any independent authority verifying that what's printed on the label actually matches what's inside the capsule. That verification, if it happens at all, is largely left to the manufacturers themselves. And when independent laboratories actually go out and purchase these products off retail shelves, the way Consumer Lab has been doing for over 2 decades, the results are often startling. In their most recent multivitamin review, Consumer Lab tested 22 popular brands using rigorous laboratory methods: HPLC for vitamins, ICP-MS for heavy metals including lead, arsenic, cadmium, and mercury, and specialized disintegration testing. 7 out of 22 failed. That's nearly 1 in 3. Previous testing rounds found failure rates as high as 44%. We're not talking about minor rounding errors. We're talking about products that contained as little as 11.8% of their labeled vitamin A, products that delivered 4 times the claimed amount of folate, products that didn't even break apart properly in the digestive tract, meaning whatever nutrients they claimed to contain were passing through your body largely intact, completely unused. And this isn't a fringe problem. These are brands you've heard of, brands your doctor may have mentioned, brands your parents trusted for years. So let's go through them, one by one. Brand 1, Centrum. If you've been inside a pharmacy in the last 40 years, you've seen Centrum. It's practically wallpaper at this point. The blue and white packaging, the familiar logo, the promise of complete from A to zinc. It's been one of the best-selling multivitamins in the United States for decades. Pfizer owned it for years before Haleon took over. It's trusted by name recognition alone, and that trust is exactly where the problem lives. Centrum has appeared in Consumer Lab testing multiple times over the years, and not always for good reasons. In various testing rounds, different Centrum products have shown up on the not approved list. The reasons range from nutrient levels that don't match label claims to disintegration problems with certain formulas, meaning the tablet wasn't breaking down fast enough in the digestive system to actually be absorbed. Think about that for a moment. You're swallowing a tablet every morning because you want those nutrients in your body, but if the tablet doesn't dissolve and disintegrate properly, a significant portion of what you paid for may be leaving your body the same way it entered. Centrum Silver, their flagship product for adults over 50, the version that's heavily marketed to retirees and older adults, has appeared on the not approved list in past Consumer Lab rounds. Now, Centrum isn't the worst offender on this list, and more recent formulations have shown improvement in some tests. But the bigger picture here is the gap between the brand's marketing power and the independent verification that actually supports it. Centrum's marketing spends enormous resources convincing consumers, particularly older Americans, that this is a trusted, science-backed choice. The word complete is right there in the branding. The blue packaging feels clinical and reassuring. What you're actually getting is a product with a mixed independent testing history, made with largely synthetic vitamin forms that are not always in the most bioavailable configuration, at doses that may be poorly calibrated for actual human absorption. For a brand that sells itself on completeness, that track record deserves a harder look. Brand 2, One A Day, Bayer. One A Day is one of those brand names that's so deeply embedded in American culture, it barely even registers as a product anymore. It's just a thing that exists, something your parents took, something their parents probably took. The name itself is the pitch. One a day, every day you're done. But One A Day's story has a layer most consumers never saw. Back in the early 2000s, Bayer, One A Day's parent company, launched a product called One A Day Weight Smart. The marketing was ambitious, a multivitamin specifically designed to support weight loss. It was positioned as a health product that did double duty, gave you your vitamins, and helped you manage your weight. The Federal Trade Commission investigated those claims, and in 2007, the FTC reached a settlement with Bayer, recovering $3.2 million as part of a broader $25 million settlement, based on allegations that Bayer had falsely claimed the product led to weight loss. In other words, the weight loss claims didn't hold up. The product was eventually discontinued. That settlement is documented public record. And it speaks to something important about how the supplement industry sometimes works. Big marketing budgets, aspirational claims, and a regulatory gap wide enough to sell a lot of product before anyone officially says, wait, does this actually do what you're saying it does? Beyond the FTC matter, One A Day has appeared in consumer lab testing rounds with mixed results across different versions of the product. And in more recent reporting about prenatal multivitamins, a category where quality stakes are the highest possible, concerns were raised about lead content in prenatal products from brands including One A Day. That last point is worth sitting with. Prenatal vitamins, taken by pregnant women, and independent research flagging potential lead content. The women buying One A Day. Women's prenatal off the pharmacy shelf aren't thinking about lead. They're thinking about their baby's development. They're trusting the label. They're trusting the brand. That trust deserved better sourcing than it apparently received. Brand 3, GNC Mega Men. GNC has positioned itself for decades as the authority on health and fitness supplements. The stores feel serious. The staff talk about ingredients. The branding signals expertise and seriousness. For millions of men, particularly men in their 40s and 50s trying to stay healthy and maintain their energy, GNC felt like the place that actually knew what it was doing. What happened behind the scenes tells a very different story. In December 2016, GNC entered into a formal agreement with the United States Department of Justice. Not a small regulatory handslap. A non-prosecution agreement, meaning the DOJ had enough evidence to pursue criminal charges, but chose to resolve it through a formal settlement instead. GNC agreed to pay $225 million to the federal government. The core issue: GNC had sold supplements containing illegal synthetic drug ingredients, specifically products connected to a Dallas-based company called US Plabs, whose product Oxyolite Pro had been linked by FDA investigators to liver injuries and was associated with at least one death. GNC had these products on its shelves, and according to the DOJ investigation, its practices for verifying the legality of products before selling them were described as lacking. That's the Department of Justice. That's not a consumer complaint blog, that's a federal investigation. Beyond Oxyolite Pro, GNC has faced a string of class action lawsuits over the years. A 2024 lawsuit alleged that GNC's super magnesium supplements contained far less elemental magnesium than the label advertised. An earlier lawsuit accused the company of deceptively labeling products regarding FDA approval, implying to consumers that the FDA had verified the products when it had not. The Oregon Attorney General sued GNC in 2015 for selling supplements containing unapproved synthetic substances. GNC Mega Men multivitamins also appeared on Consumer Lab's Not Approved list in past testing rounds. The pattern here is consistent. A company that built its entire brand identity around health authority and supplement expertise, with a documented track record of selling products that didn't live up to that authority. The stores look credible. The employees sound credible. The marketing feels credible. But credibility isn't the same as quality. And for the men who trusted GNC with their health for years, that distinction matters enormously. Brand 4. Nature's Bounty. Nature's Bounty is one of those brands that feels almost homey. The name itself, the Nature's Bounty, conjures images of farmers' markets and wholesome ingredients straight from the earth. The packaging leans natural. The price point is accessible. It's a staple at Walgreens, Walmart, and grocery stores across the country. For many middle-class American families, it's simply the default. It's been in the medicine cabinet for years. It's what Mom bought, what Grandma recommended. But here's what independent testing has revealed about products bearing that name. Nature's Bounty has appeared in consumer lab reporting across multiple testing years. And like many of its competitors, the brand has shown up in test results flagging discrepancies between what the label promises and what the lab actually found inside the bottle. The broader problem with Nature's Bounty is one of ingredient quality, the forms of vitamins used in the formulation. Many of the B vitamins in mainstream supplement brands, including Nature's Bounty, use synthetic forms that your body has to convert before it can use them. For people with certain common genetic variants, particularly the MTHFR mutation, which affects an estimated 40% of the American population to some degree, that conversion process doesn't work efficiently. The standard synthetic folic acid in many multivitamins, including those from Nature's Bounty, may essentially be functionally useless for a large percentage of the people taking it. The marketing doesn't mention this. The label doesn't flag it. The bright, wholesome packaging certainly doesn't hint at it. There's also the gummy vitamin problem, and Nature's Bounty has leaned heavily into the gummy category because gummy vitamins sell. They taste good. They feel like a treat rather than a chore, especially for older adults who struggle with swallowing pills. But Consumer Labs testing has consistently found that gummy vitamins, as a category, are the most likely to fail quality testing. The gummy manufacturing process makes precise dosing inherently difficult. In multiple test rounds, gummy multivitamins were found to contain nearly double the labeled amount of folate, which sounds like a bonus until you understand that chronically excessive folate intake has been associated in research with masking vitamin B12 deficiency, particularly concerning for older adults. Too much of the wrong thing is its own kind of problem. Brand 5. VitaFusion Gummies. VitaFusion is probably the most recognized gummy vitamin brand in the United States. The pastel-colored packaging, the candy-like presentation, the America's #1 gummy vitamin brand claim on the bottle. It's cleverly positioned to make taking vitamins feel effortless and even enjoyable. And millions of Americans have responded to that positioning. VitaFusion multivitamins are everywhere. They're stocked at Costco, Target, CVS, and virtually every major retailer. The marketing is warm, friendly, and accessible. For people who hate swallowing tablets, VitaFusion felt like the answer. But here's the fundamental problem that VitaFusion's marketing has never addressed honestly. Gummy vitamins are candy, not metaphorically, structurally. They contain sugar, they contain gelatin or pectin. They require flavorings and colorings. And all of those components interact with the vitamins during the manufacturing process in ways that make precise, consistent dosing extraordinarily difficult. Consumer Labs testing across multiple rounds found that gummy multivitamins, as a category, failed at significantly higher rates than tablets or capsules. The gummy matrix, the actual physical structure of the gummy, can cause certain vitamins to degrade faster during shelf life. Other nutrients can concentrate unevenly within individual gummies, meaning two gummies from the same bottle might not contain the same amount of a given vitamin. VitaFusion-specific formulations have also drawn attention for what they don't include. Many mainstream gummy multivitamins, including VitaFusion, contain limited or absent amounts of certain key minerals because minerals simply don't mix well into gummy format. Calcium, magnesium, phosphorus. These are often dramatically underdosed or absent entirely from gummy multivitamins compared to what you'd find in a standard tablet. What VitaFusion is effectively selling is an easy, pleasant-tasting experience of feeling like you're taking a vitamin. The ritual is intact, the commitment feels real, the enjoyment is genuine, but research published in peer-reviewed nutrition journals has raised consistent questions about whether gummy multivitamins deliver comparable nutritional value to their tablet counterparts. There's a word for something that looks like nutrition and feels like nutrition, but doesn't fully perform like nutrition. And it starts with M and ends with marketing. I want to be clear about something before I get into these two brands. I have no financial relationship with either of them. No affiliate deal, no sponsorship, no partnership of any kind. I'm telling you about them because the independent data consistently points to them, and because after everything I've just walked you through, you deserve to know what actually holds up. Brand 1, Thorne Research. Thorne doesn't advertise on television. You won't find it at Walmart or CVS. It's not on the shelf at your local Walgreens. If you know about Thorne, it's probably because a healthcare practitioner mentioned it, or because you went looking for something better after a brand you trusted let you down. That positioning is actually part of the signal. Thorne was founded in 1984 with a specific mission: manufacture supplements that meet pharmaceutical-grade quality standards in an industry that doesn't require them. Their manufacturing facilities have been inspected and approved by the Therapeutic Goods Administration of Australia, one of the strictest regulatory bodies in the world for pharmaceutical manufacturing. They're NSF certified for sport, which means their products are tested against a list of hundreds of substances banned in professional athletics, a certification that requires serious, ongoing quality infrastructure. Consumer Lab has tested Thorne's multivitamin products multiple times. They consistently appear on the approved list, not marginally approved, clearly cleanly approved, with nutrient levels that match their labels and heavy metal levels within acceptable ranges. But what makes Thorne genuinely different isn't just that it passes testing, it's how the products are formulated. Thorne uses what are called active or bioavailable forms of vitamins throughout their formulations. Their folate is methylfolate, the form your body can actually use directly, without any conversion step. Their B12 is methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin. Their vitamin B6 is pyridoxal 5-phosphate, the pre-activated form. This matters enormously, particularly for older adults and for anyone with MTHFR genetic variants, which, as I mentioned earlier, affects a significant percentage of the American population. For these people, synthetic folic acid from a bottle of Centrum or one a day may be largely metabolically useless. The methylfolate in Thorne is immediately available. The mineral forms in Thorne products are chelated, bonded to amino acids in a way that makes them significantly more bioavailable than the cheaper inorganic mineral salts used in most mass-market multivitamins. Is Thorne more expensive? Yes. Around $35 to $50 for a month's supply, compared to $10 to $15 for a bottle of Centrum or one a day. But the question isn't whether Thorne costs more. The question is, if you're going to take a multivitamin every day, do you want one that actually delivers what the label says, informs your body can actually use? Thorne answers that question with a consistent yes. Brand 2, Pure Encapsulations. Pure Encapsulations occupies a similar space to Thorne in the supplement world. Serious, clinical, without the mass-market packaging and advertising infrastructure. Pure Encapsulations was founded on a premise that sounds simple, but turns out to be rare in practice. Make supplements with no unnecessary additives, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no artificial sweeteners, no wheat, no gluten, no hydrogenated oils, no magnesium stearate, a common flow agent used in supplement manufacturing that some research has associated with reduced nutrient absorption. Every batch is tested by a third-party laboratory for label accuracy and contaminant levels before it's released. This isn't something they mention in passing. It's structurally built into their manufacturing process. Consumer Labs testing has consistently placed Pure Encapsulations on their approved list across multiple product categories. Their multivitamin is one of the most frequently recommended products by clinical nutritionists and integrative medicine practitioners, people whose professional credibility depends on recommending things that actually work. Like Thorne, Pure Encapsulations uses active vitamin forms throughout. Methylfolate instead of folic acid. Methylcobalamin for B12. The mineral forms are in their most bioavailable configurations. Pure Encapsulations is sold primarily through licensed healthcare practitioners and specialty supplement retailers, though it's also available through some online platforms. The price is in the premium range, but again, the context matters. If you've been taking a multivitamin every day for 5 years and that multivitamin contains nutrients in forms your body can't efficiently absorb or in amounts that don't match what the label claims, then you haven't really been taking a multivitamin. You've been taking an expensive habit. Pure encapsulations is what a multivitamin looks like when a company's primary goal is actually delivering the product they're selling. The supplement industry spends billions of dollars every year making you feel like you're making an informed choice when you pick a bottle off the shelf. The clinical-looking fonts, the reassuring color schemes, the confident health claims carefully worded to stay just inside the legal boundaries. But information isn't the same as transparency. A label is not a certificate of quality. A trusted brand name is not proof that the product inside has been independently verified. The 6 brands I walked you through today aren't necessarily run by villains. In most cases, they're run by large corporations making rational financial decisions in a regulatory environment that doesn't force higher standards. The real problem isn't bad intentions. It's a system that allows insufficient quality to persist because the people most affected, the consumers, are the last ones to find out. You trusted these products because trust is the only tool available to you when the regulatory system doesn't require verification before sale. That's not your fault, but now you know. And now you have a different set of questions to ask. Drop a comment below and tell me, what multivitamin have you been taking? How long have you been taking it? Did anything in this video change the way you think about it? I read every comment, and I want to know what you found when you flipped that bottle over. If this investigation opened your eyes to something you didn't know before, share this video. Your parents should see it. Your spouse should see it. The people in your life who take a vitamin every morning on faith deserve to know what the independent testing actually shows. And if you want to be the first to see the next investigation, because there are more coming, and what I found in some of those is even more unsettling than this, hit subscribe and turn the notification bell on. I'll see you in the next one.